All right, well, thank you for coming today. My name is Katie Wirt. I'm the Grant and Sioux County's Ag and Natural Resource Extension Agent. And today I'm going to talk to you about using a hay probe to sample hay and basically the parts of it, what you need if you're going to get into it, and the benefits of hay testing overall. So what I've got in my county, and most county extension agents will have these, is I've got a cordless drill and I've got a Penn State hay probe. So when you're looking for a hay probe, you want something that's got a plunger, and it's got about a 18 to 30 inch shaft to plunge into the bale so you get a good representative sample. You'll want that probe to go in on the round side of the bale, not on the open end of the bale. So any cordless drill would work. There are also manual hay probes if you want to exhaust yourself, but I'm incapable of running one of those. So I've got the one that connects to my drill, if I can get it connected. And the battery on my drill is not a lithium-ion battery, but I would recommend one of those because they will go really fast when you start sampling 15, 20 bales at each haystack. So you just twist it in and then drill into the bale as you would to test the hay. When you're done testing or sampling that bale, you remove the clip, remove the probe, and you dump your sample into a bag. So that's kind of the basics of what you need. Oh, I should mention, the other thing you need is a really good tip. I had a very dull tip and it made this job much more difficult. So getting a tip that is either serrated or, what's the other one's kind of a, this one's more of a sawtooth and the other one's more of a wavy serrated type tooth. Either one are very good. The one I don't recommend is the one in here. I'll pass it around. It is very dull. So once you've collected your sample, the next step would be to send the sample in for analysis and all that. The point I want to make today is that your extension agent can help you with all this. So most of us are set up to do that. And I want to do this in a fun way. So I'm going to try a little game show with you guys, and it's a take on The Price is Right. And I know I don't look like Bob Barker, but I'm going to try my best. So Mary Berg, come on down. Woo! You are the next contestant on The Price is Right. So today Mary and I are going to play a little bit of game of more or less. So I'm going to ask Mary a question about the things on the table here, and she's going to tell me if the price is more or less than what I've got on the red sheet. So Mary, this cordless DeWalt 18-volt half-inch hammer drill comes complete with the carrying case, 2 batteries, and a wall charger. Do you believe the actual retail price is more or less than $180?
More.
Think it's more?
Yes, definitely more.
Okay. It's actually less. So the actual retail price of this from Acme Tool, I just looked on the internet, $137. So a little less than $180, but still a pretty big investment, unless you already have one or you don't need to get one quite this fancy. All right, so the next item is the Penn State probe, and this is the price I got from NASCO on the internet. You can order it from that company. Comes with the probe, and it actually comes with a slightly different attachment, but I upgraded this one. So do you believe the actual retail price of the Penn State probe is more or less than $135?
Oh, less.
Less?
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. The actual retail price of the Penn State probe is $129, so not too bad. However, it's still a little bit cheaper if you just ask me to come out and sample your hay, right?
So you have one?
Yeah, because I have one. So if you were thinking about getting into this, you'd be at, about 140 plus 130, 270 for the basic equipment that you need. Now, I'm going to show you a little bit fancier version. So this is the Star Quality Probe, and this one comes with a canister attached to it. The benefit of the canister is you can sample 20 bales without having to remove this from the drill every time. So the canister will collect samples from 20 bales, and then you just dump the whole canister into your bag. So, Mary Berg, do you believe the Star Quality Probe is more or less than $200?
Definitely more. It's way too
Definitely
convenient.
more?
Yeah.
It is. It is much more. It is almost $400.
My.
$395 for the Star Quality Probe. So if you were going to upgrade to this type of probe with this type of drill, you'd be at about $540. So that's a pretty big difference. You know, there's lots of different types of probes you can get, and I would just recommend, if you are going to do this yourself, just do some research on what is really going to fit your needs. All right, next I'm going to bring in our extension agent. This is Miss Annie Mae Kelly from Walsh County.
Hello.
And
Nice to meet you.
Mary,
Nice to meet you.
I just want to prove a point here. Do you think having Annie Mae Kelly come out to test your hay would be more or less than $20?
More. Way more.
Do you think
I don't know.
the actual retail price? $0.
$0.
Annie Mae Kelly would love to come out and test your hay for free. She enjoys working with people. She has a background in animal education, and I think you guys would benefit from learning from one another. So thank you, Annie.
Most extension agents, because Walsh County is not my county, and Grant Sioux is not my county.
Right. Most agents have a hay probe. If they don't have a hay probe, I will send mine to them and they can borrow it.
Or we have access to getting a hay
Yes.
probe or a drill. Yes.
Cool.
So we try to make it as convenient as possible. All right, thank you, Annie Mae.
Thank you for having me.
All right, the next question. So like we said, you sample the hay, you collect everything, and next thing you got to do is send it in. So there's a lot of different labs that you can send your hay to. The one I use there's a couple that I use in Grant County. One is Stearns and one is Dairy Labs. Both are very good. They'll do similar tests, and there's no rhyme or reason as to why I chose those. I've just had recommendations to use them. So the basic NIR test, and that's a near infrared spectrometry test, is, like I said, it's the most basic test you can get. It will analyze most forage type, or any forage, hay, mixed hay, legume hay, corn, corn silage, all those things. And the analysis includes a percent moisture, dry matter, crude protein, acid detergent fiber, or ADF, neutral detergent fiber, or NDF, protein solubility, energy calculations like TDN, and it will also give you an RFV.
That's a lot of stuff.
So it is a very basic test, but it gives you a lot of information. There are other tests, and probably one that's maybe a little bit more accurate, but also a little more expensive, is the wet chemistry test. So just so you know. But on the most basic test, do you think the actual retail price is more or less than $25?
A bit more, probably 30. 30 sounds like a better number.
The actual retail price of the basic test is only $13. It is very cheap to get the analysis on your test, or on your hay samples. The one thing I will point out is you will probably need to sample more than one lot of hay. So by a lot, I mean that could be one haystack that is all slough bales or prairie hay or something. You would want to sample your high quality, pre-bloom alfalfa in a separate lot. So you would have two $13 charges.
First cutting versus second
Yes,
cutting.
exactly. So you would probably have to have several samples to understand what all of your hay is providing your cattle. But still a cheap investment, right?
Yeah, I can have two for the price that's there.
Exactly.
Perfect.
All right. Now the hard question is, what does it cost to feed too much?
Ooh.
So I've got a scenario for you to make it a little less vague.
Okay.
All right, so let's say, you're going to feed 2 pounds of corn a day, or excuse me, let's say that you are currently feeding 4 pounds of corn per day to 100 head of cattle. It's a pretty average feed. I mean, if you were just guessing, you might just feed 4 pounds and call it good or whatever. A little extra's fine, right? Okay, well, what if your hay test come back and says you only need to feed 2 pounds of corn per day, but you didn't test your hay, so you don't know that. But if you
feeding 2 extra pounds.
Right.
Okay.
So now you're feeding 2 pounds of corn per day extra to 100 head, and let's just say you do that for 30 days.
Okay.
Do you think the cost at $3 corn is more or less than $110?
Less.
You think it's less?
Yeah.
It's actually quite a bit more.
How much?
$315. So that's how much money you're spending by overfeeding your cattle.
That was
So-
30 days.
That's just for 30 days. You're probably going to feed for
Probably 3 months.
at least 3 months.
Yeah.
So you can triple that number.
Right.
Now let's say you're a producer in Grant County and you've got 200 head of cows. Double that number and triple it. Are you with me? It's going to add up very quickly. So compared to this plus this,
Right.
pretty good, pretty cheap investment to know what you have. The other and probably more difficult question, and this is just for discussion, is what does it cost to underfeed your cattle or any of your livestock? And those are just things that we can discuss. I mean, what are some of the things that cost you money if you underfeed your animals?
Yeah, I mean, there can be anything from improper gains if you're backgrounding. How about not finishing on time and feeding longer than you would have to, or if you're finishing feedlot animals.
What about your mama cows?
Mama cows definitely suffer. There
Maybe
is,
conception,
yep,
milk production,
milk production,
All
which
those
goes
things.
off to the calves and affects them and how they're going to grow. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
so
$13 doesn't look so bad.
right.
Yeah.
So I think that hay sampling is an easy practice that we could implement, and I just would encourage you all to reach out to your extension agent and at least get the hay or the majority of your hay tested before feeding this season. So,
Thank you.
all right, thank you.